This is the coldest winter that it's been in a long time, and the snow just ices the cake, literally. So you're in Newark, right? That was an early morning go?
Yeah, I think that van it wasn't super early, but it was like 7 a.m., something like that. It was early, but not like crazy.
Now, I'm going to stop you there, Mike, because at 7 a.m., you're like, oh, yeah, it's probably like 20. No. It's like 1 degree Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it was and 40-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, it feels like chill is awful.
You know, how long does it take for you to stand outside the van at the curb, where they're dropping you off, and the driver comes and gets your bag, right? It takes, a minute? Not long. I was in so much pain on my face, because it wasn't wrapped up, just for that 1 minute. That as soon as he handed me my bag, I handed him his $2, and I sprinted, or at least jogged into the building. I just was like, it was painful. Like my nose hurt.
Yep.
I had a little hat for my bald head, but
rightfully so.
It was not comfortable.
Yeah, it's brutal out here in the morning.
But I to kind of get back to your point about the cold and kind of what was going on with us that day, we woke up in Newark and the release was available, so I looked it up, and no APU. Now, my belief with the no APU, the auxiliary power unit that supplies the airplane on the ground without the engines running, my belief in that is you keep that thing south in the wintertime and you keep that north in the summertime. I don't want to fly no APU in the Caribbean in July. I also don't want to fly no APU in February when it's 2 degrees outside in Newark, New Jersey, which is where we were. And the plane had been there all night. So it had been parked on a ramp all night long with no power, no heat. And the thing is an ice cube. We get to the plane and and they're like, are you ready to board? I'm like, it's too cold. Like, no, we're not ready to board. And then there's an alarm going off in the cockpit that I've never heard before. And I'm thinking, what is it? Maybe it's the door alarm. Maybe because they just towed it over from an empty ramp. I'm like, what ding dongs towed it over and walked off with an alarm? And I'm trying to reset it. And I'm like, I feel like an idiot. I'm a captain on this airplane. I'm an instructor on this airplane. And I have no idea what this alarm is. So I called maintenance, and they took a while to figure it out too. So I felt a little better about my lack of knowledge.
That does make you feel better, yeah.
But it was the SIDS panel, which is like the flight attendant panel that tells you like the water levels, the waste levels, and whatever other information the flight attendants have on that little panel right by the boarding door.
Yeah.
So it was that, but the alarm was in the cockpit. I don't understand why.
That's really weird. Yeah.
So, but the only way they figured it out was they pulled the circuit breakers, and those were the circuit breakers that turned off the alarm. So they went under the belly of the airplane and replaced one of the SIDS computers, and the alarm went off. But then the IRs wouldn't align, and we used the IRs to so the airplane knows where it's at, and it wouldn't align. So we ended up 2 of them aligned. We have 3. They were actually able to MEL defer one of them. So we took off out of Newark an hour and a half late with no APU, no 2 out of 3 IRs. I don't know. And we were only Cat 1 because once you don't have an IR, you can't do Cat 3 approaches anymore. So that was a mess.
Yeah, it is a mess.
And all you tell people, it's like, it's, just like us Floridians, these airplanes don't like the cold weather, sorry for the inconvenience, what do you say?
Hopefully no one's bringing their iguanas on that flight back to Florida.
You see the guy, I saw it, I don't know. I didn't send it to you, and I probably should have. Some guy made like a blanket out of frozen iguanas.
You said that, or maybe Nicole showed it to me. The guy, he's like, I don't
know if he's like a homeless dude or something, but he's like laying on the sidewalk with all these, I don't know, weirdos.
Jovan showed the video. The guy killed the iguana's dead, and then he cooked it up and made like tacos out of it.
Oh, that's disgusting.
No.
Who eats that? Oh.
That's so gross. Go back to your APU. So for listeners, the APU is the auxiliary power unit, so that'll give you hot air on the ground, so it just gets the jet nice and warm for everything.
The one time I flew with my family, I'm sure I said this on the show. I know I did. We were going to DC, no APU, and they couldn't get a ground cart to start the engines, and then the ground power dropped off and it got dark, and I had to kick everybody off the plane, including my family.
That's right. You kicked your family off the jet. That's right. That's a good story.
The kids saw me yelling at the ground. They're like, "Oh, you were really mad." I was,
You're an angry captain.
You're an angry elf.
Call me angry captain again.
Yeah. So,
and then
You've been listening to the Black Box Aviation Podcast. Real pilots, real stories, and aviation news the way it's actually talked about in the cockpit. If you like what you heard, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow so you don't miss an episode. Until next time, keep the blue side up, and we'll see you at altitude.